we're just kind of looking to kind of get into the Web3 demo days and have like amazing founders come on and demo their products and whatever they're working on.
Sure.
And I figured, why not just start with, all the amazing DeSo founders. So reached out to a bunch of you guys and kind of started to get a little list together. I'm excited to see where it goes, but Salil, you're our first, so welcome. And definitely go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, happy to. So again, hey everyone, my name is Salil, and I am building a project on DeSo. It's called OpenProsper. The easiest way to think about it is, I don't like the Bloomberg comparison. A lot of people say it's a Bloomberg for DeSo or it's a certain chain for DeSo. It's essentially providing insights into what's happening on the DeSo chain, but not from a very technical point of view. You don't need to know a lot about, how blockchain works or how money native feature work. It's, if you're a regular social media user, you should be able to come here, put people's profile and see what's happening, literally provide transparency on the DeSo blockchain. So that's what OpenProsper is. There are 4 different components of the website, the way I like to think about it, and we can, delve deeper into them. But yeah, again, founder of OpenProsper, being built on DeSo, so super excited to be here.
How did you end up getting into the DeSo atmosphere and the crypto stuff? And I also kind of want to follow that with what made you go with like the data and analytics side of things as well.
Yeah, happy to. So again, just very quickly, I'll recap. I joined DeSo on April 1st, and that was an April Fool's joke. I was, me and one of my very close friends from college, we were talking about it. So he's been into crypto for several years. I wish I was in crypto as early as he was. I think he bought his first Ether in 2016. So he's done fairly well for himself. My first experience in crypto was DeSo, and then after that, I've been part of other, or I've bought more cryptocurrency. But 3rd week of March is when he shared DeSo with me and asked me to join. I was checking the website. It was smelling of scamminess, black page with password. And then I finally found the password and I went to log in and the site wasn't working. And I was like, no, dude, this just doesn't sound right. So I didn't do anything. And then a week later, he pinged me again to ask if I had joined. And this is last week of March. And I timed to join on April 1st, just so that I can have, I joined on April 1st and here's my profile. And, I'm on the cryptocurrency bandwagon. So yeah, I joined, but the excitement back in the day, the March, April timeframe was unbelievable. There was so much action happening on the chain. That's how I got into it. And I didn't join it from a entrepreneur or a builder point of view. I just joined it. Okay, it's a new social network. Maybe it's an opportunity to, be part of it, build your followership and go from there. But this was so early. This was like 2 weeks since the project had started that there were so many things that you wanted, right? I was not sure how the coin price is calculated. And that was my very first question that I wanted to answer. I asked a bunch of people, I looked around and nobody had any idea. And I was like, wow, you buy coins and the coin price goes up, it's not going up linearly. So I read the white paper, figured out what that bonding curve was, and just one evening created a very small application where if you tell what your coin price is at this moment, say how much investment you will get and what the founder awarded, it will basically spit out what your coin price will be after that investment comes in. And I just created it, put it out there for everyone to play with this, and super small calculator, right? And nothing like that existed. This is again, right, 10 days, 15 days from the start. No one was reading the white paper to figure it out. It's not that easy. So people just started using it. And then before I knew, my coin price, which was $5 or $10, because again, you just join, I didn't have friends, was $700, $800, because people were buying my coin because they thought this is like the most amazing tool that's created on DeSo. And so that's what kept you going, right? Like you'll see all these notifications, there's a new coin buy and there's a coin sell, and then it was just crazy excitement. So that's how I got into DeSo. Stayed and built a project on it.
That's so funny. So you basically, like, DeSo is the only blockchain you've ever been on, let alone built on.
Yeah. This was literally my first time I bought Bitcoin was to transfer it into DeSo, like very small amount to actually move money into DeSo. So yeah, DeSo is literally how I got into the whole crypto Web3 space, and then I built on it. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's actually great. And then, yeah, what kind of was like the driving factor into you building OpenProsper and getting more into the analytics? Like, was it you building that calculator that just said like, oh, this is a great idea, everybody needs it? So
yeah, it's so I was working on another startup back at that moment, at that time, and for me, and it was doing decently well. For me, I was starting to spend more and more time on DeSo, interacting with people, figuring things out. And these were questions I was just curious about, right? How many people, how many new followers each person is getting each day, right? Or who's creating most posts? And all this data is on chain, right? But no tool existed to give that information. They were other projects, analytic projects that existed, like 3 or 4 of them that actually came before OpenProsper, but they all focused on just the coin price. They just showed a time series coin chart and nothing more than that. And I felt like this is, there's a lot of social information that people are curious about. There's a lot of other analytics, right? Like not just coin price, but who's buying your coin once and who's buying your coin multiple times, right? Like people who buy it and then buy it again, that means they believe in you or they like what you're doing. Like those are the things I was just curious about. So the first version of DeSo, and I kid you not, I built it over 2-3 weeks as a side thing in the evening, and launched it around mid-May. And my thought was, look, I'll be happy if people use it, but if people don't use it, I'll be very happy just using it as a tool for myself, figuring out, what people are doing. And at that point, I was like, what's the worst that'll happen, right? I can use this tool that I created to maybe buy and sell coins myself. Like that's not my persona. I haven't traded coins, but I was like, the worst is if others don't use my product, I can actually use that product to find that alpha and start buying and, trading coins. But yeah, launched it, people started using it. And I never got into the second mode of trading myself. And there were lots of, feature requests and, things to work on. So that's how it came about.
That's actually great. That's like, it's so funny because you make it just seem so casual, but kind of like Caleb said in the room chat, like OpenProsper is literally like one of my personal favorite apps on DeSo right now. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing. And I think it's so funny that you never even thought it would. I mean, I guess that's how a lot of things work, but you never thought it would actually be used. And now it's like one of the number one used things. Everybody checks it out. So that's amazing. But yeah, so if you want, there's a screen share button, and obviously this is like a demo day. So if you want to pull up OpenProsper and just kind of give us a little tour, if there's anything you really want to dive into, any updates going on, etc. But the easiest way to do it is to, awesome, that works.
So I will share OpenProsper. There is a feature we're going to release this week. It's almost done. I might share that as well. So let's go through this. So there are 4 different elements to OpenProsper, and one is basically deep diving into a user's profile and looking at some numbers like money native features as well as some social features. So that's one element, the profile. Second element is like a block explorer, right? We have each scan. There is a DeSo scan, if you will, on OpenProsper that you can see enriched block explorer, and we'll go into that. The third piece is around searching, like almost scanning creators based on certain parameters you have. And then the fourth piece is like there are a bunch of different lists and tools that provide different insights and have been built based on people's feedback, but they all reside on OpenProsper. So let's start with the profile piece. So very quickly, I like building. Let's do Dharmesh's profile, right? So. And it provides basically a quick overview of what's happening or what Dharmesh has been doing on chain. And there are a few different components of it, right? The first section that you open, this is just to provide a very high level overview of what's going on. And since it's a social product to me, like DeSo is a social product, we want to start with, the number of posts he's made, then how many followers Dharmesh has, and then how much DeSo has Dharmesh earned by being on the DeSo blockchain since he started. And then finally, then there's a coin price. So quick overview, and then obviously there are more information on the right, like he's been here for 347 days, he's never changed his username, So you can see a bunch of things, right? When was he last active? So you can see his recent activity. I actually like doing that. I like looking at like some of the people I follow, their recent activity. So if you go to see recent activity, you can see what he's been doing and who he's been interacting with, right? So he gave 6 diamonds. Actually, that's a ton. Oh, he's been giving 6 diamonds out recently, right? So he's given 6 diamonds to Brutal's post. If you want to see what that post is, you click on this and it takes you to, just sent a message to Dharmesh asking to block HubSpot in Russia, right? And apparently that's done. I heard from somewhere, right? And he gave 6 diamonds to.
So how much is 6 diamonds again? Do you want to pull up the...
It changes, but here, 6 diamonds about $150.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah, so it's $150. And actually, if you like, let's jump to Brutal's profile, in fact. So Brutal got 6 diamonds, which is $150. In the last one day, there you go. He's earned $150 in the last 24 hours.
Love it.
Literally, yeah. So you can see, and Brutal's again, right? Because he's in Ukraine, a lot of people have been buying NFTs, putting diamonds. So you can see the trajectory of what's happening in the last 30 years. Earlier, you can see, right? Earning 0.3 DeSo, 0.8 DeSo, 0.9 DeSo, and then all of a sudden you start seeing he's earning 5 DeSo in a day, 1 DeSo, 2 DeSo, right? 5 DeSo again, right? So you can start seeing how, people starting to contribute. So overall, again, right? So overall profile, you can see Brutal's been active 1 hour ago. Coin price, you can see how old Brutal's account is. When did he join? He joined on March 27th. Who were some other people who joined? So you can see a bunch of different, social profiles, social stats about Brutal. And then this is pretty amazing, right? This is a pretty high number. So Brutal every single day either posts or replies 60 times a day. He's done as high as 91 or as low as 14. And this is while the Ukraine war has been going on, right? So you can literally see how active he's been in the last 30 days. And then how much the community is amplifying him. And amplifying is 2 different things here, right? Either they're mentioning Brutal in posts that they're writing, or they're taking his post and they're reposting it, right? So literally on this day, on 28th February, he was mentioned 27 times and his content was reposted 60 times, right? So he had a ton of amplification. Again, super high number. But this is just an example, right? A flavor of like, if you want to delve deeper into a creator, you can start seeing what's going on. And typically, there's a pretty high correlation between how active somebody is, this is how active Brutal is, and how much they're being amplified, right? So if we can take certain profiles which are not very active, their community amplification will be very, very low, right? So it's pretty, you can see that. And then, there are a bunch of other things. I won't go into every single widget or every single stat here, but there are a bunch of things from NFT to, how many people are reinvesting in Brutal's account and how his founder reward has stayed same or changed. So you can see a bunch of things get truly deep into a profile. So that's the profile piece. Happy to, focus on some piece if you want, Sean, or like happy to jump to other parts of OpenProsper as well.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with whatever you want. I'll check the chat and see if anybody has, Michael says, who is making the most money?
Who's making the most money? I like that question. So that was number 4 I want to show, but let's jump to that very quickly. So we can go to why DeSo. Actually, the why DeSo one shows creator earning, and this shows creator earnings that are in the last 7 days, last 24 hours, or last 30 days. So right now, obviously, DAO is pretty much right in the center. So a lot of NFTs are being bought for DAO. So you can literally see in the last 30 days, DAO has raised 11,000 DeSo, which is almost $250,000, right? But if you, for whatever reason, take out DAO for 1 second, Seals is the other creator who's earned, in some sense, 166 DeSo, which is about $5,000. And you can see a bunch of other people, right? Real Zach, Unicat, Cloudpunk. So you can see Astronation. So you can literally see this is 24-hour. You can see a 24-hour view, a 7-day view, or a 30-day view. And on the left side, again, this is obviously massively, influenced by DAO because they almost bought 11,000 DeSo. But even if you take those out, so 2,000 DeSo was earned by all the creators. So almost 10,000 creators in the last 30 days on the DeSo blockchain earned some DeSo, right? So even a small diamond is a DeSo. So they earned some DeSo, 10,000 creators. About 250 of them earned 1 DeSo at least, and then about 37 of them earned 10 DeSo at least. So you can just get a quick sense of what's going on the DeSo. So that's a question around earning.
That's amazing. I love how it's so simple and just right there. I love it. That's so awesome. Let me know, anybody in the chat, if you guys have any other features that you want us to pop into and check out a little bit more, drop it in the chat. But yeah, Salil, you're more than welcome to show off any other things that you are kind of looking to get into, or updates, announcements that you want to share, etc.
No, I'll very quickly just round out the product itself, and then we can get into some new stuff. So this is obviously this is like bunch of lists and tools that can provide people insights, right? So another tool that people have used quite a bit is username status check. So you can come here, put a username. Let's take Kian's username and see what different apps, what is his status on different apps. And I think Tunnel actually has gone down, so you might not see Tunnel returning here. So Diamond app, he's verified. BitCloud, he's verified. DeSocial World, verified. NFTZ, not verified. Supernova is not verified. Obviously on his, he's verified. So you can see on different apps, if you're verified, you're blacklisted or you're gray listed across different apps. So I think this is one of the tools people use quite a bit to see, their username, what is their status of the username across different apps. So I think that's one tool. And so there are a combination of lots of tools here, as well as the list, right? So you can also see live accounts, right? Like what's in the last 30 minutes, you can see about 166 accounts have been active. The most active account with the highest coin price, if you will, was Hikey. And then 5 new users got created. And not only we are pulling what's on the blockchain, we're actually also pulling what's in the mempool to reflect that, right? So you can see Real Yogi has done 2 transactions. Their most recent transaction is still sitting in the mempool, and you can start seeing, a bunch of, what's going on in the last 30 minutes. How many active users, user with the highest coin price was active, and then how many new accounts. And you can actually see who are the new accounts that got created here as well. So that's one of the components. Like you can play around. There are a bunch of different lists to see live accounts. We just saw new accounts getting created. Just literally see there are about 3,000 accounts that got created in 7 days, or about 345 in the last 24 hours. So you can see a bunch of things around that. And then the third thing I would love to show you is the block explorer, right? Like we have ETHScan. This is our version of ETHScan, where you can come and you can see what block are we on right now, total transactions, how long has our blockchain been up. So let's take just this block for example. Let's take another block. Let's take this as more transactions. So block 110530, we can take that block and see what's going on. So just a much more enriched, much more visual view. So if you're technical, you can start looking into what's going on, right? Like how many were like posts that were done here, how many people gave diamonds, and you can start, even if you want to see authorized derived keys. So a couple of people authorized derived keys in this block, right? Or send private messages. So QT NYC sent a private message to Dirk Hopper, right? So again, you don't know what the message is, but you can start seeing how people are, what's going on inside that block. And if you want, you can also check, like, is there any user that was active here, right? So like if you do Dirk Hooper, he was active, right? You can start seeing what's going on. So that's the block explorer. And then for each one, you can actually jump into it a little bit more. So Paul O'Brien replied to a post, and you can again click on the post and you can see what the post is. You can click on reply and see what his message was. And then if you want to get more technical details, you can actually click on that and see, what was the transaction fees and what is a raw transaction hex, and, a bit of more technical stuff, what was going on in that transaction. So that's the third piece, right? So the first piece was profile. Second piece was like, there are a bunch of tools and lists. And then the third piece is Explorer. And then the fourth piece is it's a tool, but it's an interesting one. It's an advanced search tool. And you can come here and you can set up a bunch of different filters to find creators who meet that criteria. So let's say I want to find someone whose coin price is less than $100. Their founder reward also should be less than, let's say, less than or equal to $10. They have more than, I'm going to make it up, 1,000 followers. Let's say someone's come up. They made at least one post. I don't care about these things. And their last activity was, they were recently active. Let's say we want to say they were active this month, or well, this is February. So let's go back. Let's say they were active this month. And their first activity was, we can let's get rid of this, right? So that's all we want to see. And these are all the people who meet that criteria, and they're a bunch, right? So 220 people meet that criteria, and these are the top 25, right? Mashland, obviously coin price less than 100. 4,000 followers, have made 25,000 or 26,000 posts rather, received 23,000 diamonds, and was active as recently as today, right? So like right now, I completely understand that the coin price is not where people are spending their time on. But truly, right, if there is one coin that you want to buy, this one, like these coins make so much, like Sandy Rose, right? Like Regina Mary, these are people who are super, super active, right? Lots of followers. So that means they have a lot of amplification and they are active and they have a low coin price and they meet the founder reward. We can even further refine it. Let's say 5%. Is there anyone who shows up? There you go. There are people with 5% founder reward who meet this criteria, 3% founder reward, right? So this is the third piece, that you can actually start to find creators who meet certain criteria. This is primarily targeted towards potentially coin buys. So that's the third piece. Or fourth piece rather. So I wanted to share with you. So yeah, those are some of the things, and I'm happy to get into different parts of the product or answer any questions about DeSo or anything else.
No, that's amazing. Honestly, like I'm blown away at how many features. I personally have not gone that in depth on it, but I'm blown away. Like it's just genius, because like especially now, like analytics and all the data, especially on social media platforms, are so important.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like beginning to like stop overlooking them and are really starting to dive into it. And you literally have like pretty much everything you could pretty much want when it comes to social media and all the elements that blockchain brings to it. Like, yeah. I have to admit, like diving into the creator coin side of it that you were just showing, like personally, I'm not a huge fan of the creator coin game, and obviously it's kind of died off. Sure. But I think in a social aspect, the creator coin is great for people to kind of encourage more of like a closer connection rather than playing it as a stock price or something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's like, oh, like my best friend, I'm gonna buy his coin just because he's my best friend, and I'm not gonna sell it because he's my best friend. And I think treating it like that is cool, and I feel like that's kind of where it's heading. But yeah, I didn't know you could just sit there and search somebody's coin price and dive into the followers. That's amazing.
Yeah, and you may not want to trade their coin, but you just want to meet people with lots of followers and who are on the platform and are active, right? Like that's another way to use it. You just want to see people who are active and posting regularly and so on. Yeah.
No, exactly. And it's great. It's like the perfect filter to get rid of the spammy people and focus on the people that are actually producing good content. And that's one of the main things everybody looks for example, on Twitter or whatever social media site. And it's really hard to find unless they just happen to show up in your feed somewhere. But if you can sit there and search that exact style of person, I mean, that's just spectacular. I absolutely love it.
This is cool, man. I love what you're doing. I love what you're building. I think it's awesome. And it's just so cool that, you can do this with blockchain, platforms now. Cause like the other social networks, they make you pay for this stuff, right? And you could probably do a premium subscription as you grow for sure to give people access to some of this stuff. But it's just so awesome that you're doing it for free right now. And it's really cool just to see all the stats and stuff. And, even just looking at it on my own, account and just seeing like everything that I've done and like, it's kind of wild. The coolest thing, which I've been popping in and out, but I don't know if you mentioned the like the actual like cost of all like gas fees and everything, which I think is really cool because like even personally, I've done like over 1,200 transactions on DeSo, and it's costed me like $0.0015. So it's pretty wild, right? When people are spending, you know, $50 to $100 per transaction on Ethereum. It just goes to show how powerful this can be at scale and everything. So if you wanted to go through that and just show people, like, I'm sure you can get deeper into it with, you know, how many transactions like across the whole blockchain and how much it's cost and all of that.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know, I don't have the number, what the total cost of all the transactions on DeSo has been, frankly. But I think overall, we've done 65 million transactions, right? One thing I can jump to actually, I can give you the average transaction cost. So this is a new feature which we haven't released, and it will come in the next, give me a second. This is a DeSo dashboard, right? So this, you want to come here and see everything that's happening on DeSo, like one snapshot, and there are like some updates we'll make here. But you come here and you say, okay, what's our circulating supply right now? What the total creators have earned since they've been on DeSo, right? So everything that creators have earned is $16 million, right? That cannot be said for any other platform.
Can you drop this? Can you drop this in that link just in the room chat real quick? I want to save this. I want to save this link.
This will be
But this is great. I want to be able to show other people this, like,
I'll put
it for sure.
But this is like literally a work in progress one. Again, I don't know if my chat went through, but this will be live in the next day or so.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, it went through.
Awesome. 1.5 million wallets have been created on the DeSo blockchain. Just in the last month, we've had almost 70,000 new wallets get created, right? And this is the average transaction cost on DeSo, right? So $0.0016 is the average cost of transaction on DeSo. The average cost of transaction for a post is even lower than that, right? So this is like all transactions, and this is just a posting transaction. And obviously we know it's listed in these places. How the wallets, like again, right? Earlier, the pace of wallet creation and creators joining was way higher. Obviously things have slowed down. This is around the Coinbase listing. No, this is not Coinbase listing. This is February. There was this bot thing happening, right? So the bot was reserving accounts, and you can see this is happening. Like that's why you see a slightly, increased creation. But the total wallets as of right now are 1.5 million. And if you want to see people who have created usernames along with the wallet, it's about 500,000, right? So there are 500,000 users on the DeSo blockchain, which has a username and a wallet. And then there are accounts that don't have a username. That's 1.5 million. Some projects that are here, this is completely random. It's not that, I love Cloudcast any more than I love Entre. You refresh it, they'll have a very different layout. So this is very random. It's completely random every time it shows up.
How much do we have to pay you to be?
So like projects that are working on DeSo, and then the DeSo blockchain total transactions that we've seen, it's about 64 million total transactions that have been done on the DeSo blockchain. Some of the interesting videos that have been recorded over time, where Nader primarily has been talking about, the different parts of DeSo blockchain. And then this is another interesting number, actually. The total DeSo that's moved across wallets, right? So this could include earnings, this could include creator coin buys, this could just include money movement. It's almost $1 billion worth of money that's changed hands on DeSo. So that's a pretty significant number in the last 1 year, right? It's just been 1 year, but $1 billion has changed hands almost, right? 828 million. But that's driven by the $29 coin price right now, right? And then the creator coin volume, obviously creator coins have flattened out a little bit right now. And then there are a few places, right? If you're new, you want to build on DeSo, this is where you go. You want to work at DeSo, here are the jobs. You want to buy some DeSo, you can go. And if you want to experience DeSo, for now we're sending them to Diamond App. But I think, there are multiple different nodes that people should try. So so that's like to your question around like giving an overall snapshot, like this page should come out this week. It's almost done. They're like a small little things that we want to update.
That's so incredible. Yeah. No, that's honestly, that might be my favorite part of it all. Just being able to see the entire blockchain in retrospect. Like that's, 1.5 million. Like, yeah, I was quite surprised at that number, honestly.
Yeah.
And then almost 1 billion total transactions, just like changing wallets. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah. So, yeah.
No, that's awesome. So there was actually a question over in a room chat, or a few that somebody piled together. So somebody asked, curious if OpenProsper shows most active times.
Yes. Yes. I think let's check one thing. We don't have the most active time for each user, but if you go to the DeSo World Intelligence page, it's here. So if you go to DeSo Intelligence and go to Daily Snapshot. So the Daily Snapshot, obviously, we haven't, we'll run the March 8th snapshot later tonight. The March 7th is the latest snapshot, and you can just literally pick any date since the blockchain has been live and see what's happened on that single day. Just today or yesterday itself, $2.4 million changed hands, right? Which was 11,000 in Creator Coin buy, just DeSo moving is 2.4 million, and NFT sales about 6,000. But the question was around most active time, and this time is in UTC, right? Because people from all over the place join, so you'll have to do the conversion to your own time zone. But if you look at this, it seems like 2 a.m. UTC, which probably is like, for Eastern, it's probably like 9 p.m., 8 or 9 p.m. There were about 2,000 social transactions that happened, right? And that seems like the most in that 1 hour window. You can see, what are the times, and you can just look at a heat map here, right? So this is social, this is trade.
Yeah, would you want to drop that link in the room chat so I can screen share it?
Absolutely, let me do this.
Awesome.
If you go to Daily Snapshot, you should be able to see on that day, just a quick heat map of what times people are either interacting socially or trading. Trading seems like it's a morning-ish activity in some sense, whereas social seems like a late evening activity. And you can pick any day, right? Like if you want to see what happened on February 15th, you just come on February 15th and see how it looks.
We can hold Zoom like meetings. Yes, you can hold Zoom like meetings, just like we're doing right now. This could technically be a private room if you wanted to, for sure. But anything that you can do on Zoom, you can do here. You can even do more on here technically than you can do on Zoom. The only thing we can't do is video. Like you can't be on video if you're on mobile yet. And you can't screen share on your mobile device yet. You can only do those two things. The other thing that we don't have is breakout rooms. But besides that, every single thing that is on Zoom, we have. And this is free. And you can record, we don't charge you extra for like cloud storage.
That's awesome.
Love it. So if you want to screen share that one more time, just to show people how to get there.
Great.
Sorry about that.
No. Sorry, I thought I was sharing my screen. So if you're on the home page, OpenProsper, if you go to DeSo Intelligence, and just making sure you guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So from homepage, if you go to DeSo Intelligence, it's the daily snapshot. So on the daily snapshot, you can see literally everything that happened on that day. Or not everything, but you can see a bunch of stats that happened for that day. And then if you scroll down, basically it's called a day in DeSo ecosystem, right? A day in DeSo, and you can see the busiest time in UTC. So social, trade. So social is posting, liking, replying, that's social. Trade is buying, selling coins. Also giving diamonds is considered trade right now. Maybe it probably needs to live in social. Account management is updating your username, updating your profile picture, updating your profile description, or even updating your founder reward is considered account management. And then NFT is buying, selling, bidding, burning, NFTs, right? So like anything related to NFT. And then, yeah, you can see, so look like for the 1 hour, the highest, and it's like a heat map. So hopefully you can, quickly zoom into, the busiest times. To me, it seems like 1100, 1000, 2000. So these three seem to be like combination seems to be the busy time, and it's UTC. So in Eastern, it probably is like an evening, like 7, 8, 9 p.m. That seems to be when most people were doing social actions on the chain. Although if you look at it this here, almost 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, this seems to be when people are either giving diamonds or maybe still buying and selling coin. And that is about, 12, 1, 2. So that's like 7, 8, 9 a.m., like really early in the morning when some of the trade stuff is happening.
That's awesome. That's actually really cool. And I do like how you kind of, like you said, it's almost like a map where it's like color coded. You can pretty much see exactly where most of the transactions are happening.
Yeah. And if you're just curious, right, like for that day, for March 7th, like how did things break down? You can literally see there were 5,100 follows that happened. Basic transfer is just money moving from one DeSo account to money moving to another DeSo account. It's called basic transfer in the blockchain, and the way basic transfer, even giving diamonds, is considered basic transfer. So about 12,000 basic transfers happen, about 10,000 likes happen, posts, reposts. There were 400 private messages sent, 464 NFTs were created yesterday, and then some people, 100 were burnt. So you can see a bunch of stuff that happened yesterday.
That's super cool. And somebody asked, is there a way to see all of the gas fees that were incurred throughout the day?
Oh yeah, right below this. DeSo Nano spent, so the way DeSo incurs or like calculates gas fee is in nanos, right? And a nano is 0 point and then 9 zeros. Basically, it's 10 to the power of -9. That's what a nano is. Like it's basically, it has 9 decimals. So 23,000 nanos were spent. So 23,000 nanos, if you want to convert that into DeSo, so if we literally do this here, 23,000 into, -9. That is how much DeSo was spent, like 0.0003 DeSo. And then if you multiply it by 29, it's like not even $1, right? So it's like $0.006 of DeSo was spent. So that's why it's like $0, it says. But it's in nanos. The fees is covered in nanos.
That's awesome. That's actually really cool. And I see somebody in the channel or in the room chat asked what like the best time is, and they love this map because they always wanted, like they didn't know how to find this. So
yeah,
that's really cool. For the most part, if anybody has any questions in the audience, or if you have any announcements or updates you'd like to talk about or touch on, Salil, now is a great time.
Yeah, no, I would love for people's feedback actually. So honestly, a lot of the first version of OpenProsper was nothing but a homepage, right? Or not a homepage, a profile page, right? And it didn't even look this, this, I would hopefully say, well laid out. Earlier, it was just giving snapshot of a bunch of different things happening, but being more comprehensive. This was launched last summer. Everything after that, like the DeSo scanner, the advanced search, all the lists, all the daily snapshots, all the tools, they've literally come from people asking for features, and we've been building since the last year. So typically, we've been in a cadence of getting something out, like doing a sprint and getting something out every 1 to 2 weeks. There've been weeks when we've gotten like literally a thing out every single day. And then there've been like a few weeks where 2 or 3 weeks when we are building something more substantial that we haven't gotten something out. But average is like 1 to 2 weeks to get something new out. 2 weeks, I would say, is an average. So like I said, right, like the one that you're seeing now, this one that I shared, Aero, this is like our staging area, right? The DeSo Dashboard. So we've been working on this for the last week. So we'll get this out this week. And then there are a few other things on the roadmap that we will focus on. But would love to hear if there are other tools, questions people have, right, that they would love answers to. We'll find a way to, somewhere create a list for it or create a tool for it to help answer those questions. So I would actually almost ask people to if there are any things that we should work on. Like, absolutely, would love to hear them.
Yeah, guys, feel free to raise your hand or drop it in a room chat, and I'll bring you up to stage or read it out of the room chat. But I see Michael has a question, so.
Yeah, but besides the DeSo dashboard that you just showed, what are there any other big features that you have coming that you want to you would like to share or that you are able to talk about?
Yeah, so this is a thing we've constantly been, punting and discussing, right? Like, a lot of people have asked for a way to log in to OpenProsper, like just use your identity to log in. And the place it comes from is like, I would like to start managing some parts of my account from OpenProsper itself. And the one area I will share with you is this. Give me 1 second, I'll share the screen again. So if you go to, like, again, let's say Dharmesh's account, and let's see who he's following, right? He's following about 93 accounts, and 29 of those have been active in the last 7 days, right? And 20 were active. So he he follows Lex Friedman. Lex Friedman is a reserved account which has never been active on DeSo, right? He follows Ben Horowitz from A16Z. It's a reserved account, never been active. And then there were a few accounts where people were active, like Give India was active 10 months ago, right? And then there's like Fred Wilson was active again 10 months ago, but they're not active anymore. And people have asked, right, like, let me find out who are the people I'm following and who've not been active for 10 months, 9 months, and I just want to unfollow them. So that's been an area we've constantly discussed where, there could be a simple unfollow button here, and then people can start following and unfollowing people from here itself. So that's just one small example. If people can start, if we allow the login, we've stayed away from it for a few different reasons. But again, there is, like, that's the piece that we're considering strongly. That should we let people start doing DeSo identity login.
That's super cool. Yeah, and I could see that being helpful for sure, just for people to maybe like clean up their account, or
Exactly.
even as they're doing research to be able to follow someone directly there. Yeah. I think the only tricky part about that is you might run into issues with bots and stuff and things like that potentially, because you have so much data. That might be why you've kind of waited, which is smart. But yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense for sure. It'd be super cool to be able to do that. And because there's some similar platforms, like I know of, that you could do like research on like Instagram and then be able to like unfollow or follow people from those platforms and stuff. So yeah, that's super cool.
So that's one thing. And then the other thing also I'll share is this bunch of people again. So a lot of people in the DeSo ecosystem, right? Like, they have DeSo, they have a DeSo wallet. They also are active in the ETH space. So one of the other things I've also heard from people is, can I not only log in with my DeSo identity, but can I pull in my ETH wallet and some of the NFTs I have from my ETH wallet, can I actually pull them here? And can I see some of the ETH NFT or ETH stats, let's say, in one page, right? Haven't done that, right? Like, we haven't gone cross-chain at all. And that I'm saying it's I can say pretty confidently it's not going to happen anytime soon, because OpenProsper is about DeSo, right? Like, if we try to muddle up the message, it gets confusing. But there's definitely a way, a place, or maybe a small little project on the side as well, where there's key DeSo stats and key ETH stats that people can see in one space. Might not be OpenProsper, but might be a OpenProsper child project. But obviously, exploring that, would love to hear any feedback people have.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think that's super interesting and definitely something that a lot of people should, to an extent, like, consider, like, getting into that cross chain niche, because that's probably something we're going to end up enabling as well through login, like being able to use your MetaMask or Coinbase to just connect and sign in through those, which are obviously not just DeSo wallets. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely cool, and I would love to see your data analytics just be the data analytics of all blockchain. That'd be super cool, super cool. And it's obviously amazing. Like, I love the idea of being able to follow people directly while you're just doing all this research. And speaking of bots, like Michael brought up, somebody said in the room chat, is there any way to identify bots through OpenProsper?
Yeah, so you can identify, and we can again, let me share my screen, and this is what I do. I've created some kind of a list, which gives a pretty decent idea. I have stayed away from identifying bots myself because the cost of false positive, false negative seems to be high. But here is a way that I do it. So if you look at, okay, so I will actually just rephrase it. I won't call it a bot, but I will call it accounts using automation, because I know some people who also post, but they use automation. Now, this one I'm pretty sure is using automation because they've done and this is again, right? You go to lists, and then you see most active accounts. So these are top 1,000 accounts that have been most active in the last 24 hours. The 1,800 accounts, but we show top 1,000. So if you see, and you can just sort it by the number of transactions, right? So they've done 3,000 transactions, and almost 3,000 of them was either a post, a reply, or a repost. So there is some kind of automation happening. Same, like Mario, I know Mario posts himself, but I would not be surprised if Mario is using automation. There were 1,800 transactions done. 1,800 of those were giving diamonds. So I'm pretty sure there's some script, some automation. Be active, we all know is a bot. 1,200 transactions, every single one of them was a transfer of a create a coin. Same thing here, right? I don't recognize this account, but they've done 1,100 transactions, and almost everything except 4 were just liking and unliking posts. So this is one way I look at it on how to see, what are accounts using automation. Same, Ebu is a well-known bot. Merlin is a well-known bot, right? So the way I see it is, and again, if you see the total transactions, and then they've just once, and it's like 99% or 98%, that's probably some kind of automation happening. Like humans mix up their transactions, right? Like if I was in the 1,000 most active yesterday, right? So yeah, I did 10 total transactions in the last day. My most common one was posting and replying. Then I maybe followed somebody and I unfollowed, right? So, and the number is low. So if you see anyone doing more than 1,000 transactions, I would say, or maybe even more than 500 transactions, and most of it is one type of transaction, it's pretty high likelihood they're using some kind of automation. Like this one, Catalyzer, well-known bot, right? 378 transactions, and they constantly unfollow people. Literally, if you go to their account, that's another way to see. And if you're curious, right, click on their account, and then just scroll down and see what are the transactions they're doing, right? So Catalyzer, let's pull up. That's all they're doing. Follow, unfollow, follow. They follow Recloud King, and then they unfollow Recloud King. They follow last whatever, they unfollow it. They follow something, they unfollow it. And the reason for that, and this is like very common, right? And the reason they do that is they follow, unfollow, they will see new accounts. Let's look at one sassy lady, right? It probably is not a very old, super new account. Not super new, actually, not a very active account. So there are few algorithms they will use. They will see who are accounts that have less posts. So that means those people are not very active. And when they become active, what they do is they'll follow them, because on all nodes, a follow actually has a notification, but an unfollow doesn't have a notification. So if you get a notification saying somebody followed you, you check their account and you follow them back. So all this account, like this Catalyzer is trying to do, is trying to create followership, basically. And they have done 361,000 transactions. No human has done so many transactions, right? So that's pretty, you'll have to do some research, but I haven't, there's no one page that you can go and see, are these all bots, literally. But if you dig around a little bit, it's not very, very complicated to see what are bots. 360, more than 250,000 transactions, it's a bot.
Yeah, no, I think that's super insightful. Obviously, a lot of people are in the game of, especially with how early everything is on DeSo, on Entre, and all these other nodes, there's always going to be that fear of bots and just the spam. And it's super cool to be able to just pop in see what's going on. And yeah, I mean, that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and same thing with Mario, right? I know Mario's active himself. I know he posts himself, right? And I'm not, again, trying to pick on any one account. So this is not a bot account, but yeah, obviously it's using automation, like give diamond, give like one diamond, right? Like one diamond is nothing. But Mario is not sitting there and doing 250,000 transactions, right? Even if it says Mario's assistant has done 250,000, I find it hard to believe. Just being quite
no, that'd be your whole day.
So 250,000 transactions, Mario is running a script, and I don't think there's anything wrong, by the way, right? Like there are tools that exist on Twitter, like Buffer is an automation tool, right? Like there are lots of, we may at some point, one of the things we may do on OpenProsper is create an automation tool, right? So there are automation tools. So yeah, Mario is using an automation tool. It's not a bot account, but yeah, for sure there is automation included or being used.
No, that's really cool though. And being able to dive in and figure out exactly if it is spam and see what kind of transactions they're doing and stuff is super insightful as well. And then somebody also asked, on top of that in the room chat, can you see who has messaged who? Not necessarily the message content, but just the actual interaction.
Yeah, for sure. You can't see the message because that's encrypted on chain. But we again, let's pick up, who should we pick? Let's pick maybe Dharmesh again. We haven't enabled a filter on it, and maybe we should. But like if you go to a user, so there are two ways to do it, right? Like, so let's do it at a user level, right? Go back to transactions, right? That seems like so you go to transactions, and then you can start seeing, what are the transactions that Dharmesh, so sent private message, right? So you can see Dharmesh sent a private message to NICU, right? So you can see, and you can continue just going back, but there is no filter here, frankly. Again, then Dharmesh sent a private message to Brutal. So you can see, right, like what is happening. Like if one account you want to see, again, Dharmesh sent another private message to Brutal. So you can, again, see for each user. But the other thing you can do is go to the Explorer, and you can look at like recent action that's happened, right? Recent, like, so let's look at our most recent block that was confirmed. There is sent private messages. So you can literally come to the most recent block, and if you click on this, you can see Tunnel Rose sent a private message to this, right? And you can then go check another block. You can go a block behind, and you can then see send private messages. Didn't filter. Let's go all. Let's send private message. Same, Tunnel Rose sent a private message to Jason. So you can do it by block, or you can go to each profile and then see what's if someone sent private messages there as well.
That's crazy.
The other thing, like core engagement, right? Like, so this was one of the pages almost from the community. There was a lot of, I'm sure everyone who's here, there's been a lot of discussion around people want that the DeSo core team to be more active. And the funny thing is, DeSo core team does stay active on the blockchain, but it's just that people don't know, right? Like unless you get a diamond from Nader, or unless, Ty Fisher responds to you, you don't know, but they've been active. So in the last 24 hours, I'm tracking 13 core team members. 8 of them have been active on the blockchain, right? Ty has been active just 21 minutes ago, right? Lazy Nina was active. And then there are a few people, like Red Party hasn't been active in 2 months, right? So most likely that core team member is not using this account to interact, but a bunch of people, right? So you can see have been active, and then you can see what they've been doing. And Ty has been active 4 times, Lazy Nina twice, Dylan 13, right? So, and Nader has been the most active in the last 24 hours. If you go last 3 days, same, Nader was the most active with 81 transactions. Last 12 hours, Nader, right? So all of a sudden, Nader has been the most active person, right? And people have been unhappy. And you can just see what has he been doing. So let's look at, he's replying to posts, he's giving diamonds out, and you can, following, giving diamonds. Who did he follow? I'm curious. So yeah, Nader actually wasn't even following Ty Fisher. So Nader started following Ty Fisher, Robert Graham, so Nader wasn't even following Dylan. Super interesting, right? So he started following a bunch of people. He unfollowed somebody. Ooh, he unfollowed a couple of people as well. And then, giving diamond and stuff. But let's look at, has there been any private messages between? So Dylan sent a private message to Musai and Ty sent a private message to Scott's Coin. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff you can see. You can snoop around and learn a lot about what's happening.
That's crazy. That's super insightful. And I love that a lot of this just came straight from requests of what the community was looking for. Like, because this is such a common thing. Like, so many people would love to have something like this on their Instagram or their Twitter, and there's nothing half as good as this for free. You know, I think that's absolutely incredible. I'm just kind of mind blown at the fact that you can just go that in depth with that. It seems like Natter must have been using OpenProsper the other day to figure out he wasn't following his own team.
That was so funny, yeah.
That's so funny. And yeah, I mean, Michael kind of nailed it exactly on the point. Like, they don't want you to know those insights, and that's the best part about decentralization and being on a blockchain is it's open, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're obviously at the top of the hour, a little past. Sorry about that. If there's anything you'd like to end on, or if you've got to jump, definitely let me know. And then obviously anybody in the audience, if you guys have a question, definitely drop it in the room chat, or feel free to reach out to Salil.
Yeah, please. Again, I'm active on the blockchain, so Salil Sethi, my account, or OpenProsper. I try to literally respond to every message I'm tagged on or respond to every message I receive. So that's, just reach out to me, and I can stay around for a bit longer. If anyone has any questions, wants to talk about data, DeSo, OpenProsper, anything.
Salil, thanks so much for coming on, man. And now I love what you're doing again. And I think you're adding a ton of value to the DeSo ecosystem and to the blockchain. If you'd like to connect and network with other like-minded people, entrepreneurs, investors, freelancers, and startups, check out our app or go to our website, joinentre.com. Thank you so much for being a part of our community. If there's anything that we can do to help you, please reach out to us and let us know.